Hey everyone, I'm Rabbi Hayley from base Ithaca, and I want to tell you a little bit about this week's Parsha, Re'eh. I'm going to start with a story. So about 10 years ago, I was jobless and broke in New York City. I had just been fired from a receptionist job at a very fancy financial management company, and I was distraught. One weekday morning, I left my coffin-sized bedroom on St. Mark's Street in the East Village to go wandering, smoke some clove cigarettes, and look for some sort of sign of what to do next. I walked past the familiar lineup of sex shops, tattoo parlors, and frozen yogurt places, and I kept walking. Should I stay in New York or should I go back to Colorado? Hashem, tell me what to do. Eventually, I passed by a psychic's storefront office. In the window was a table with crystals on it and some big plastic pink flowers. A blonde woman was sitting in the doorway smoking a cigarette. Our eyes met for just barely too long. "Come here," she said. "There's something you need to hear." In my weakness and desperation, I followed her in. In this week's Parsha, Re'eh, we read, "Lo tishma el divrei hanavi hahu, o el hacholem hacholom hahu, ki menaseh Hashem Elokechem etchem, lada'at hayishchem ohavim et Hashem Elokechem b'chol levavchem u'b'chol nafshechem." Do not listen to the words of that prophet or that dream diviner, for Hashem your God is testing you to see whether you really love Hashem your God with all your heart and your soul. There's a lot going on in this verse, but one question I was asking, which maybe you are too, is why does God need to test our love like some jealous partner? Shouldn't the one who knows all our innermost thoughts and feelings not need to depend on a test? Rambam breaks it down for us. It's not that God needs us to prove our love for God's sake, but this proving is actually for our own and perhaps the world's sake. It seems that the true reason why we're really dissuaded from prophets, dream diviners, and the like is about the message we're sending to ourselves, the world, and God when we seek them out and follow them in their ways. It's a message of distrust, a distrust in ourselves and our own minds, in the world, and ultimately in God. It's no wonder that the word emunah, faith, shares a root with lehitamin, to practice. Our emunah muscle gets built up over many years. It's not a one-time thing. So back in the psychic storefront office, I sat down in the uncomfortable plastic chair and got ready to receive my sign from above. The psychic told me many things. She told me about my soulmate, who was to be a blonde and blue-eyed man, and how long I would live. She then closed her eyes and thought for a few seconds. And finally, she took a deep breath and said very thoughtfully, "I'm getting a sign that you are struggling financially. It seems that maybe you are unemployed." I immediately snapped out of my receptive state. "Are you kidding me?" I said. "It's 11 a.m. on a Tuesday. Of course I'm unemployed." I got up, handed her $20, and left, annoyed with myself that I wasted my time and money and still with no answers of the future. To be totally honest, this was not my first or last encounter with a psychic. And to this day, I feel tempted by the occasional tarot reading or palm reading, because sometimes all we want is for someone to tell us that everything is going to be okay, or at least warn us about the bad stuff coming so we can prepare. But what this Parsha is telling us, and what this particular line is telling us, is that to be a Jew is to live into the mystery, to embrace a God we cannot see, who maybe has a plan that we don't know. So may we be blessed with the ability to trust ourselves, the world, and God, and be compassionate with ourselves when we slip, knowing that even in the falsehood, there is something to be heard. Shabbat Shalom.